Okay. Okay. There is a fictional character in the Star Trek franchise. He appeared in the television series Star Trek Generations, in the first and third season of Star Trek Picard, in the fifth season of Star Trek Lower Decks, and the feature film Star Trek Generations. First Contact, 1986, and Insurrection, 1988, and Nemesis, 2002, 1 and 2. Data is portrayed by actor Brent Spiner. Data is self-aware, sapient, sentient, and normally featured, fully functional male android who served the second officer, chief operation officer aboard the Federation's starship Enterprise D. Later uses Enterprise E. Later is in many ways a successor to the original Star Trek Spock. In the character is superior mental skills and offers surrender perspectives of the humanity. Development. Gene Roddenberry told Brent Spiner that over the course of the series, Data was to become more like a human until the end of the show, when he would very be close, still not be quite there. It would be the idea that there be that the writer took it. Spiner felt like it exhibited chapter line characterized Robbie robots, the film Forbidden Planet. A role model for before. Spiner Spiner was cast by Eric Minick and Lindsay Chapman, Pure Hall, and Galvin Henry. Commenting on Data's RB-like appearance, he said, "I spent more than hours of a day makeup and hours of makeup, so that they even called it a way of long acting." Spiner also portrayed Data's male beyond further lower, a role he found much easier to play because the character was more like me. For Data creator Dr. Nunn Sun, additionally, he portrayed another Sun type android before in the film Star Trek Nemesis, and also Erickson, one of the Sun's ancestors in the three episodes of Star Trek Nemesis Enterprise. Spiner said his favorite Data scene to take place in the sense when Data is placed poker in the holodeck, where a recreation of the famous physician Stephen Hawking, played by Hawking himself. Spiner reprised his role of Data in the Trek Enterprise series. Final episode of these are the Voyagers. In the off-screen speaking part of Spiner felt that he had visually aged out of the role that Data was presented as a youthful figure. Spiner returned to the role for the 2020 Star Trek Picard, having to be convinced by the advent digital de-aging tools. He also accepted because of the negative fans' recreation of the death of Data in Nemesis took him the surprise and the scene in staging of the 2021 season off Picard with final time to plan Data 10. Spiner returned to the role for the series in 2023, third of the final seasons, portrayed an aged Data lower in B4. Disposition biography. Data was founded by Starfleet in 2338. He was sole survivor of Omicron Theta in the rubble of the colony left after the attack of the crystalline entity. He is a synthetic life form with artificial intelligence designed to built by Dr. Noonien-Sun, his own likeness portrayed by Spiner. His positronic brain allows him to impressive computational abilities. He experienced ongoing difficulties during early years of his life with understanding various aspects of human behavior and unable to feel emotion and understanding certain he just exists humanities. The school initially led the addition of emotion chip created by Sun Data's Positronic net. All through Data's and the increase in his humanity desired for human emotion experienced by specific plot points and sources of humor. All through the series, he continues to show the nuanced wisdom, leagues, dialogue, establishing some backstory, and stated that he was deactivated in 2336 on Omicron Theta before attack on the crystalline entity, a spaceborne creature with convert life forms to energy for substance. He was found and reacted by Starfleet personnel. 2 years later, they went to Starfleet Academy from 2341 to 2345. Comes himself in class of 78. Commander William Riker in the series premiere encounter of Formind. Honors and probability connecting biology, also referred to the Stardate and served Starfleet aboard USS Trieste. Was assigned the Enterprise under Captain Jean-Luc Picard in 2364. Data lore, Data Discovery, brother lore, and learned that Dr. Noonien-Sun created Data after Lore failed his attempt to betray Prize in the crystalline entity, and was sequestered being Data brother into space. The episode television, Laura claimed that which was a lie. Soon, they were confirmed the data were programming Laura portraying the difference between data type L phaser discriminator to compare the data type R result with times error. Television series and films. Icons. This series needed more citations. Please help improve this. Series of adding reliable sources. On source material Jameson removed August 2021. Remove this message. Actor Brent Spiner portrayed Data in Star Trek Generations. It was in Star Trek prequel Enterprise in episode arguments that version of the data can be traced back to a scientific theory created by the genetic next generic matrix soon Data's father, son, who would not his theory would a generation beyond his life form be noted was in reaction to this continued argument from which originally stated that Bubonic Wars late 20th century in this link the data story timeline to that of Khan Noon Insane from the original Star Trek. In the Measure of Man, Starfleet judge rules that data is not Starfleet property. Data's family expanded to the offspring, which introduces all genoid based off on Data's not neural interface. When Zeta refers to his daughter Lala dies shortly after activation in Brother. They reunites with Sun. There he meets again with Lore, who deals emotions chips. Sun means for Data to receive. Lord of Fatality wounds daughter Sun is control the data to make him help Lord's attempt to make entirely artificial life form. The data eventually deactivates Lord and does not. Well and damaged the emotional chip in the hands of mess with Data. Through the crew discovered that she's a genuine built by Sun after real Juliana's death. Bergen to die after a long life, and to believe that she is the true Juliana, unaware of the fact that she is an android faced with the decision, the Data that chooses not to disclose this with her, and allows her to continue her normal life. In All Good Things, the 2-hour series final in the Next Generation, Captain Picard travels among 3 different time periods in Picard 25 years in the future, with a goes with Joy LaForge to seek advice from Professor Data, luminary physicist who holds Lugasian chair at Cambridge University. In this film, Star Trek Generations, Data finally installs the motion chip in retrieving from lore and experiences the full scope of emotions. However, those emotions prove difficult to control. Data struggles to master them. In Star Trek First Contact, Data has managed to gain complete control of the chip, which boosts the activating to maintain of its performance efficiency. In the film Star Trek Nemesis, Data beams Picard off the enemy ship before destroying it, sacrificing himself and saving the captain and the crew of the Enterprise. However, Data has copied his core memories into B4, his lost brother, who's included in the movie. This was done with the brilliant help of LaForge, who voiced concern about his could cause B4s to nothing but more exact duplicate of Data. In this first season of Star Trek Picard, Data is seen in Picard's dreams, playing poker in 10 forward, later painting the middle vineyards of Chateau Picard, reveal that Dunch and Soji Aja and Data's brother created through the practical neuronic cloning. Dr. Bruce Maddox. These neurons were apparently salvaged from B4 first after his punishment, and that was found to be too primitive, created Data's memories. However, Data concluded is frequently still existence inside quantum, crafted by Maddox and based upon memories retrieved from neurons. Maddox salvaged from B4, equipped holding the network, now in possession of Alton Sun, Union Sun, Belgian Sun. After Picard dies, Alton Sun transferred Picard's consciousness into a colon, and indeed for his own consciousness. And Picard meets with Data inside of the simulation. Data requests that Picard terminates his own consciousness, which would allow Data to believe that he could only truly live finite lifespan. Only Picard awakened his theories out with Data's wishes, consciousness, or limitation. They're giving a brief eulogy to reserve the innate depth of his own ability to see humanity, worst trait, despite the parts of humanity did addition. In the third season of Star Trek Picard, Data is revealed to have been revived by Alton with a new synthetic body having partly merged with Lore and B4. In the memories of Altensohn himself, believed that by Riker that while Data's memories had previously been unrecoverable by lifting of the ban on synthetic, had allowed them to work on more property extracted than from before. The new android was rechristened by the Daystrom Institute, Starfleet's foremost advanced research center. Riker, Worf, and Raffi. Riker steals the android and bringing him aboard the USS Titan, reunited with Picard. The android entity holds valuable information on the instrument research projects and Data's personal reveals that the yes of the season have stolen Picard's original dead organic body. However, it takes several hours for the Force to re-engineer Android to allow Data's personal true dominate lower, lower personal domain maintain seemingly an overpowered lowers taken over the Titans. Recognized lowers invited compression Data's development is Mars Data initially surrounded to them to lower and lower initially occurs with them as a little they assume and recognizing Lord and reconstituting data allows him to fully take over a new body and reprogram the systems and aging the challenging Data's personality, thus newly nourished and attaining the most human-like state of wish, stating that he is, but also Lord before and everything else soon programmed into the android. In the series final of the episode, the challenging are revealed to be the work with the Borg who take over Starfleet. Data plays an instrumental role in the defeat of the Borg piloting a rebuilt U.S. Enterprise. The heart of the Borg cubed over the Jupiter, engulfed feeling a feat that force believes the impossible feat for even their or best pilot accomplished. Afterwards, Data attempts to adjust to having an artificial organic body, everything that comes with it, with it and its last seen playing poker with his Enterprise crewmates at 10-4 bar in Los Angeles. In Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 5 fully deleted. An altered universe version of Data gets trapped in the primary universe. This version of Data is purple and is still active in 2382, rather than having been destroyed years later. It is served on Enterprise D, which similarities still intact. The altered data is shown to share many of his prime counterparts straight from even his parents. Such close friendship with Geordi Forge, getting trapped in the 19th century, San Francisco. The Enterprise is briefly crossed into a prime universe via a mysterious interdimensional rift, which rarely evil clone of Tashiar, or something data is left behind on a shuttle crashed on Vilmer 3, a pre-industrial planet experiencing time dilations. Data is only a part of his survive and recovered by Starfleet Lieutenant Beckett, Mariner, Vanna, Tendry, and by a transport mishap, stranded them on the planet for years of related him a provider with her device to help with her science data is eventually beamed to the USS Citrus, where he's recommended both to Tindry and Lillian Dillon for the open senior science officer position. Crew loads data head into a torpedo casing and firing back to the rift for the Enterprise. Spot icon. Spot icon. In this section, needing more citations. Please help us in adding citations. Reliable sources. Unsourced material may be chanced or removed. Learn how to remove this message. Spot is Data's pet cat and a recurring character. Spot appears in several episodes of TNG 4 seasons, as well as feature film Star Trek Generations, Star Trek Nemesis. She is first appeared in an episode Data's Date. Spot originally appears as male Somali cat, but later appears as a female cat 16, eventually giving birth to kittens. DNG Genesis in Star Trek Picard. Uh, his memory of Spot, the last one, Data surrendered to his lore. Popular culture. Like Spock, Data has a sex symbol, Spiner, a fan mail currently mostly from women. He's described as a letterbox formatting mail. Really written to Data. He's really accessible personally. Romantic engineer regards Data with among with a droid from Star Wars movies. A preeminent face robot public Battlefield 19 on the April 19th, 2008. He was introduced into the Carnegie Mellon University Robot Hall of Fame during the ceremony regarding science at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Spiner himself released an album of old pop standard from the 1930s and 1940s entitled Zero One Old Eyes back from the reference from the contact lens. He rose from datas as well as that played from the name from Frank Sinatra album Zero One Blue